Hi, it's Jenny with Peach on a Leash, and welcome to today's challenge. So today we're going to be working on a behavior called stowaway. This is more of a trick behavior, but you can use it in some other ways as well. So I like to use it, I'm working on it with one of my guys to get them to go into the bathtub. You can also use this to get some really cute poses for Instagram and Facebook. So the holidays are a good ways away, so planning out those holiday cards to send out of your pets, you can get some really cute shots with this behavior. And basically what it's going to be is you're going to find some type of box-like shape object that your dog is then going to go into and do a sit or a down. That's our stowaway behavior. So you're going to have to find something at home that you can use as this box. When you're looking for that, I want you to choose something that if you're looking at your dog, they could comfortably stand in. So kind of how they naturally would stand outside of that box, look at where their feet kind of are and get something that gives them a little bit of wiggle room on all sides. That's going to make it easier to start training this if it's comfortable for them to be in. So don't choose something where they need to stand like with their feet all crunched up or something too narrow where the feet would need to be really in. We want to start nice and comfortable all the way around, a nice natural stand. I also don't want you to choose something that has too high of an edge. We don't want our dogs necessarily jumping into this object. A nice little step over is again going to make this easier to teach in the beginning. So choose something looking at your dog that's about from where their ankle is to where their elbow is. So somewhere in this distance. So not so high into shoulder height, that's more of jump height, elbow to wrist. So somewhere in there. So for example, you could find a cardboard box, you could get a laundry basket maybe. I happen to have this duffel bag. This is a little too tall for what I would start this size of dog in. See how it's kind of at the shoulder, a little too high. But for my pup that I'm working with, it sizes up pretty well. It's a duffel bag, so it didn't have an edge. So I just added a box to the inside so that it's a little more sturdy, and that's going to be easier for us to work with. When we set this up, I want the order to be, how do I do this? Let's see, to be like this with some distance. But you are going to be on one side, the box is going to be in the middle, and your dog is going to be on the other side. So what this will do is it'll set them up for success so that when they're kind of naturally prone to come towards you, because we do a lot of training facing our dogs, they're going to probably encounter whatever luggage, laundry basket, box, whatever you happen to find to choose to be able to use. So go ahead and get searching. We're always looking for something that's safe for our dogs to interact with as well. So keep that in mind if you have pups that are prone to chewing things and all of that good stuff. But find your stowaway box and we'll go ahead and get started. All right, so I'm here with my pup Crux. He's an Australian cattle dog, and he's worked on this behavior before, but not with the suitcase yet. So, as I said, we're going to set Crux up so that he has a pretty good chance of just coming across this box on his own. If you want to work on this more with the technique of shaping, and that is rewarding your dog for gradual interactions and very small increments towards that final behavior. So an example of that would be if Crux walks towards the box, I can reward that. If he sniffs the box, I can reward that. If he puts a paw or a nose into the box, reward that. Once we get one paw, start rewarding 2 paws, 3 paws, 4 paws, and then eventually a sit or a down in the box. So we're breaking that whole behavior of getting completely into this little luggage box into tiny steps and just watching our dog really carefully. Your timing is going to be very important if you want to work on this in that way. But it can also be a really great mental energy drain to work on behaviors and build them up from that shaping standpoint. So I'm going to be doing kind of a mix of two things. I'm going to do a little bit of shaping, but I'm also going to start with a little bit of luring. And all that's going to look like is me taking a few treats, and I'm going to set one in the box. Crux is my foodie, so he's pretty adamant when it comes to getting his treats, or kibble for that matter, or carrots, or red peppers, or whatever you'd like, right? And then I'm going to wait for a little bit. Yes, a paw on the box. I like that. Yes, good boy. Yes. I'll take that paw because it's interaction. I like that. Yes, good boy. I'm going to set this one in the box, see if we can't get him to climb a little bit. What do you think, buddy? Yes, good boy. And I'm placing that treat on the opposite end of the box. Yes. Yes, good boy. Oh, yes, good boy, Cruxy. Good job. Yes, good job. Very nice. Very nice. I'm going to give him a little extra, little jackpot reward for those paws, and then I'm going to give a release word just to get him out of the box. Free. And toss the treat. I'm tossing away so he can have the opportunity to come back. Yes, and re-engage with the box. Good job. What if I do you remember? Yes, good. Good job. I know you're super cute. Yes. Good job. Free. Yes, good boy. Good boy. So I probably waited a little longer there. I'm kind of lumping things together a bit to try to get to this next step for you guys. But go as slow as you need to go for your dogs so they don't get frustrated. But remember, you do want to give them those pauses, and that patience is important, that waiting on your part so that they can think things through. Crux gets pretty excited about his food, and that kind of leads to some frustration, and he starts pawing and doing things like that to me to try to get me to give him a hint. So I wait him out a little bit longer. Good boy. But now that he's in the box, he's getting some goodies, and we've worked on this before, so we do have some history working on this behavior. And while we're working with a new object, I do know that it's familiar to him, so I'm waiting a little bit longer to let him put those things together. Free, mark. So once your dog is comfortably going into the box, you can start to add a verbal cue. Choose a phrase that ideally sounds a little bit different than some of their other cues. That's going to help your dog out a lot. So for example, for Crux, I'm going to use the phrase load up, but you can use whatever phrase you would like to use. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to have him get out. So I'm going to give him a release word. Free. Toss a treat. Load up. Yes. And I'm going to say that verbal word before Crux gets into the box. As soon as he gets into the box, I give him his treat. Try it again. Free. Load up. Yes, good boy. I'm trying to time the moment that I say that verbal word, verbal marker, to where free, Crux is pretty likely load up to get into the box. Yes. Free. I'm going to just do that a few times. Crux, load up. Yes, good job. Good job. Free. Oh, sorry. Right here. Load up. Yes, good job. And that's our stowaway trick. So another level up for the stowaway behavior is to try it with different objects. Still make sure that these objects are safe for your dog to interact with. So Crux started with a luggage case, and now we've moved on to a ukulele case. It's got a little bit of a different shape. I've had to make some adjustments to it so that he's more comfortable with it. The case has a little bit of a rounded surface, so I just placed some towels so it wouldn't rock as much as we worked with it. but we had to build up our steps in the exact same way. You can start trying your load up or your stowaway cue with different things for your dog to get into. So go ahead and give it a try. Oh, yes. And happy training. Good boy.